Within recent years, the Sonic series has received a bunch of success, and it seems like with each release, whether it be movie, show, or game, the Sonic series is heading in the right direction to be something huge again. Especially with recent success of the last 3 movies now reaching over $1 billion made combining all 3 of the movies, or with recent success in the likes of Sonic Frontiers and Sonic X Shadow Generations. Sonic is moving in the right direction, and it's truly exciting to see what's going to be coming out in the next couple of years for the Sonic series. But within those recent years, there's been somewhat of a mystery within Sonic. Something that is still unanswered to this day and yet leaves the whole community completely puzzled on what's going on with this certain character. And if you don't know what I'm talking about the mysterious Professor Tori. A character that has been hinted by not only the likes of Sega, but also their lead writer in Ian Flynn. And yet, even still to this day in 2025, we still have yet to know what's going on with this character. And I know a lot of people might think of the simple fact of why should they care about some random character. It's the simple fact of just how much she's been teased that it truly has to mean something, right? Well, let me catch you up on the situation that's going on here, and let me catch you up with the history of Professor Tori. Professor Tori's first appearance came on March 24th in 2022, and some might be familiar with that date being the first episode of Tales Tube, a series of short videos made by Sega on the Sonic the Hedgehog YouTube channel explaining Sonic lore, and definitely recommend checking it out if you haven't seen any of the episodes. The episode starts out by explaining where all the humans and all these Sonic characters end up living. A lot of people theorize that all the Sonic characters and then the humans lived on 2 separate worlds inside of the Sonic series, very similar that we see in the likes of Sonic X. However, this is actually confirmed that they coexist on one planet. And Tails even goes further on to explain that Mobians live on small islands, while humans live on continents. But shortly after the explanation made by Tails, this is where we get an example of what the humans look like within this world. And if you look in the back, here's our mysterious lady of Professor Tori. What I find really interesting is that she's put right alongside all of the Sonic Unleashed humans. What's really interesting about that is all the humans seen within this picture we've seen before in Sonic Unleashed. That is, except for this pink-haired lady, Professor Tori. We have never seen her before, and she's never even been mentioned until this point, which a lot of people jump to the theory that she potentially was just a unused NPC inside of Sonic Unleashed that didn't make the cut. And this could also explain the reason and why she's in a different art style within inside of this picture. An art style that looks very similar to Yuji Uekawa's art style, which Mr. Uekawa has made incredible art pieces for a bunch of Sonic games. But while this is all great, this is where it kind of starts to heat up a little bit. Not only was she put in Tales Tube for a specific reason, but when Ian Flynn was directly asked about this, all he had to say was #KnowingSmile, which meaning that he knows exactly why she was put inside of Tales Tube and knows what her lore is, but didn't have any details to share with us at this time in 2022. And at the time, a lot of people theorized that she could potentially be in the new Sonic game, Sonic Frontiers. But unfortunately, for people that were curious about this mystery, she was nowhere to be seen anywhere in Frontiers. But after 1 year and 8 months, we still had nothing. That wasn't until somebody directly asked Ian Flynn again about this character, stating 1 year, 8 months, where is it? And all Ian Flynn had to say was patience. And still a little after a year, we still got nothing. There was nothing to be seen, nothing to be heard, and no details said by Ian or Sega themselves. That was until December 10th of Paramount releasing an exclusive clip for Sonic Movie 3 of Team Sonic fighting Shadow, which is a super cool clip, and I definitely recommend seeing Sonic Movie 3 as this is definitely one of the best moments within that movie. But that is until the scene pans out and you can see directly behind Shadow a picture of Professor Tori. Nearly 3 years after her first appearance, Professor Tori was officially back. And yet, it was still a mystery on why she was here and still driving Sonic fans completely crazy wondering what's going on with this lady. But of course, this was just another hint, right? That was until you zoomed in on this billboard in the background of Professor Tori. Because on this billboard, it actually revealed a date, which was 12/30/2024. Potentially a date that we'd finally receive our answers of what's going on with this character and pretty much solve the mystery of Professor Tori. And this was actually the first time that we actually had a name to put to this face. And until this point, we had no idea that this was actually the name of this character. That was until it was translated on the billboard that it was Professor Tori. But where have we heard this name Tori before? Well, actually, we've seen this name signed before in Sonic X Shadow Generations inside of Gerald's journal. We see this within a note inside of the journal saying that she found it, but the journal is in still pretty bad condition. But at the bottom it's signed as regards, T. So within the English version, this doesn't specifically state that this is our Professor Tori. That is until you look at the Japanese version of this journal and it actually is signed by yours truly, Tori, confirming that this was actually Tori that went ahead and made this note, and even telling us that she worked with Gun to help get this journal. But going back to that date of December 30th, what exactly happened? Was there anything to be said by Ian Flynn, Sega, or anybody within the Sonic series? But the answer to that date is we got nothing. There was nothing to be seen, nothing to be heard, or anything like that. This date had gone by and we still had nothing to know about Professor Tori, revealing that maybe this was just kind of a big mystery in the first place and Sega actually never really had plans to do anything with her. It's just kind of weird that Paramount or Sega would put this specific date on this billboard in Sonic Movie 3 and not follow through with it. I mean, it could potentially be that they scrapped the plans of doing anything with her, or, I mean, I guess just simply forgot. But I really don't like the answer of they simply forgot. If Sega's gonna put a date there, they're going to follow through if they have plans for it. So I think that it could potentially be that this was either translated to the wrong date, or simply Sega just scrapped the idea as a whole. But within recent Tales tube of the new year, she was teased once again. In the bottom left of Tails' big flat screen, you can see a book that reads The Mystery of History by Professor Victoria, showing that, again, she's still just one big mystery, but maybe Sega didn't forget about her. Maybe the plan isn't scrapped, just changed. Maybe we just don't know what's going to happen of this character. Maybe they're saving it for the next 3D Sonic game or potentially another Sonic game. What if she has something to do with Sonic Racing Cross Worlds? The questions are truly endless when it comes to this mystery. And it's one of the weirdest things to go on with inside of the Sonic series is leaving this character as such a big mystery. The more you kind of deeper dive into the mystery of Professor Victoria, the more it kind of starts to drive you absolutely insane. Because you learn so much about what's potentially going to be about this character just to be let down and then not learn anything about her for a long period of time. So it could potentially be, now that we got this Mystery of History book placed on Tails' desk, we could also just not learn anything for a good whole year again. I refuse to believe that Sega continues to keep teasing this professor and it's going to be absolutely nothing. Sure, she could definitely just be a character behind the scenes that helps out with Gun and different things like that. It just doesn't make sense that they constantly keep showing her for her to only be a background character behind the scenes of Sonic. And it would also be weird that this whole time that she was just a character for Sonic Racing Cross Worlds. I mean, it definitely could be that, and she could be potentially a big character, a hero, or potentially even a villain with inside of that game. Just in my opinion, if that was the plan all along, it would kind of be somewhat of a letdown. I think she could be a really big character, and if honestly we saw her in the next 3D Sonic game, it would be a pretty big moment at that. But while I completely caught you up with Professor Tori, let me know what you guys think in the comments below, as this whole thing has absolutely been killing my brain while researching it. It was something I heard about a long time ago and just kind of went away, but now within recent days, we keep getting more information about this lady. I really think that this professor means something huge, especially for the likes of Ian Flynn to keep commenting on this character. He truly has plans on it, or Sega has plans for her. It's just a matter of when they want to do those plans. So now that I've caught you up completely with Professor Victoria's mystery, I guess we'll just have to wait and see what Sega's plans are for her. But with all that being said, guys, keep your eyes out for Professor Victoria, as she might be hiding anywhere, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.